What's up everybody, Cave here and welcome back to The Modest Gamer. Before we get started in today's episode, I just hope everyone's staying safe right now. The world's pretty crazy and I just wanted to say that I hope everyone's doing okay and I wish everyone the best health during this crazy time we're going through. So in today's video, I'm going to be putting together this premium build for the quarantine time just to get some awesome PC gaming in. I'm going to be talking about the parts, going to go through a build time lapse, and we're going to go through the benchmarks as always. Before we did all that, I kind of want to just talk about how difficult it was to get all these parts. So for everyone out there who's looking to get into PC gaming right now, I just want to tell you that you're going to have to be pretty patient getting all these parts because things are pretty crazy right now. You can't find parts, and if you can, they're getting pretty overpriced. If you're wanting to get into PC gaming right now, I definitely would say be patient and be on the lookout. Try searching different places, not just one location, and be resilient. You'll find something, but you just have to keep at it. Let's talk about what we want this machine to be able to do. So we have really 5 things we want this thing to do, and the first being we want this to be an entry-level 1440p gaming machine. So that means we're looking for medium to high settings on most games. Second point for this PC that we want to address is we want it to be future-proof to an extent. Obviously you can't future-proof forever, but the timeline we're looking at for this PC is 4 to 5 years. The third reason, which really goes back to point 2, was that we want this to be upgradable. So we don't want to buy a bare bones PC that has only the limited amount of slots and express lanes that we need right now. We want to be able to have the full features and the full compatibility for all the future parts we need in case we ever need to add something else the way we want. The fourth point for this PC is that it needs to be wirelessly compatible. And so this means it needs to be able to have access to Wi-Fi and Bluetooth because in 2020 it's getting really hard to stick to the wires, guys. We're going Bluetooth and wireless with pretty much everything now, and so it doesn't make any sense to live in the Stone Age.
Wait, SpongeBob! We're not cavemen! We have technology!
We need to have our PCs up to date. We need to be able to connect our AirPods to them. We need to be able to connect our controllers to them. And adding that right now just eliminates that problem altogether. Number 5 is we're looking for a clean, premium aesthetic build. So we want this to look super nice, super clean. That way it stands out from most other computers. So for that, we have some other parts dedicated in this video, but we're gonna talk about that when we move on to the parts. Let's move on to the parts. So starting off for our processor, we have a Ryzen 5 3600. This is an awesome processor. I really don't think most people need more than this just because it's hard to justify spending that much more for all that power that you don't really use. And so the 3600 in this case is perfect because it's great for gaming, it's great for productivity, and it's also great for light video editing. Pairing that processor, we have this Asus ROG Strix B450F gaming motherboard. Wow, that is super long. This is an awesome motherboard that I was able to find that has Ryzen 3rd gen support right out of the box, so there's no need for BIOS updates, and it's a full form factor ATX board, which means it has the upgradability pack that we talked about. So if we need to add any other features into this machine later, we have the necessary slots ready for us. The board also comes with RGB headers that we're going to be utilizing to complete our 5th point, which is aesthetics. And speaking on that, we have a RGB strip right here that we're going to be hooking up. Moving on to the RAM for the build, we went with a 16GB kit, a 2x8 running 3200 MHz by G.Skill Ripjaws. Storage with this build, we decided to not go with any hard drives or SATA drives. We're going straight to an M.2 Nvme drive from Samsung, specifically the 970 EVO. We got this in a 1TB storage capacity, that way we can load Windows on it, all of our apps on it, and even a couple of games before we have to get more drive storage space. This should be plenty for us right now, but if we always need to, we have that point of upgradability with our motherboard, and because it has 2 M.2 slots, we can always just buy another terabyte of NVMe to throw on. Alright, now the part everyone wants to talk about. We're moving on to the graphics card. We chose to go with I actually ended up not using the 1660 Ti for this build, and I was able to find this EVGA RTX 2060 KO. The reason I went with this card is because it's 15% faster, it comes with 400 more CUDA cores, and it comes with ray tracing right out of the bat. This card is also geared more towards 1440p than the Ti was, and the value that this card provides rather than the Ti for the price point is just unmatched. Now that we've gone over that, let's move on to the power supply for this build. So for the power supply, we went with a good old classic Corsair CX650M. This is a modular power supply that spits out 650 watts. So this should be able to handle everything super easily, and it has a bunch of headroom in case we ever want to get one of those new RTX cards. Now that we've gone over the power supply, I want to go over the aesthetics that we've chosen to put with the power supply, and that is some sleeve power supply cables from Asia Horse. These are premium braided white cables that we got from Asia Horse, and they're really just going to complete the look for our build. We also have a TP-Link Bluetooth and Wi-Fi card that we're going to be throwing in here to accomplish giving this computer wireless compatibility. The last part on this list for us is the case. We chose to go with the beautiful Corsair Carbide 275R in white. This case is super clean and super modern, and it looks aesthetically pleasing, and I can't wait to see how this looks together with the RGB strips and the white premium sleeved cables. Alright, well now that we've gone over all the parts, I'm going to do my thing and put this thing together, and I hope you guys can do your thing and snipe the like button. Let's get into the build. Right, now that we're done building this thing, what do y'all think? I think this ended up looking really nice. The black and white build, man, I'm really liking these things in 2020. When you add a RGB strip and some custom power supply cables to it, man, these things look super clean. Speaking of clean, today's video sponsor is nobody. But Kaif, we know it looks good, but how does it perform? Like all my PC build videos, we're gonna go ahead and run some benchmarks to see what this baby can do. For every single game that we're going to be testing today, we're going to be running it at 1440p and on max settings, and we're going to try to see how many FPSs we can get. Obviously, you can get more FPSs if you drop the low ultra settings on any of these games, but we want to see what this thing can do. So for that, I'm going to be moving on to the fun part for this build, and I'm going to get gaming on this thing. Well, what y'all think of those benchmarks? I think they ended up looking really awesome, guys. Running at 1440p max settings on all of these games, and this thing was not going under 60 FPS. I call that a solid win. Because of the fact is that you can stay at 1440p and drop to high, and you're still getting amazing frame rates. And playing at 1440p just has such a big advantage over playing on 1080p that moving down to high really isn't going to be that big of a deal, just because of the amount of variation you get between those two resolutions. I actually like the system so much that besides the additional aesthetics that we added, which were the lights and the custom cable kit, I would recommend this as the modest 1440p gaming setup. Yeah, go ahead, roast me in the comment section about how you need a 2070 or 2060 Super or whatever it may be, but honestly guys, from what I saw, I thought this was a fantastic machine for 2020. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you guys like this system. If you like content like this, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you're informed of every time I upload. I'm going to try to be uploading much more frequently now, so again, hit that bell notification so you're alerted, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.